Hi, class. There are many ways that you can record a radio podcast. There is no set one way. And a lot of it depends upon what you're trying to do. So, if you're doing an interview, you want to somehow record your voice and you talking with another person. So, if you have something like an H1 or an H4, uh, you I have another video, I'll post it, that shows you how to use it a little bit easier. This is a wireless recording microphone, and you can record your interview back and forth. I've done many interviews like this. Some people, though, you can see it even on sports interviews, just use an old phone or the phone that they're using. If you turn it on, I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but this is a super old phone. If you go into your voice notes, or what does it say there? Voice memos. It's a little bit of a cracked screen because this is an older phone. Voice memos. You can record just like that. And it's sometimes, especially if you're using a newer phone, just as clear recording that way. Now, similar problem as to when we did our earlier stuff and taking our pictures. We got to somehow get that audio off of our phone and onto our computer. So we can do that with Google Drive or however you've done it in the past. With these types of recording devices, there's usually an SD card that we can pop out, or a cable, a USB cable that we can connect and transfer over our data. That's one of the biggest problems of Comtech, is getting our data from the device onto something that we can edit with. Now, when you're recording your interview, or I'm going to show you a couple other things that you can do, don't worry about if you mess up. It does not have to be perfect the first time. One way to make it you have less mess ups, though, is to have a script. So if you have something written down, something that you're following, if you're interviewing someone, having your questions written out, which is called a script. A script can be a point form thing. It can be the full thing written out. Even for these videos, I usually put this, it says right up at the top, radio podcast creation. There's my script for how I'm going through this video right here. So a script helps you kind of have a structure to what you want to do. I didn't always do this. You might notice some of my old videos are a little bit crazy, or some of my install videos are a little bit crazy, but putting together a script will help you kind of follow through there. Now, a couple other things that we can do, and we're doing this in the background. I have this 60-second radio contest up. What is super cool about this radio contest is the English is in the middle here. First prize. So if you make the best one, you win $1,000. This is Canadian, so it's 1,000 Canadian bucks. Second prize is $750. Third prize is $500, which is unbelievable. With everything that's happening right now, there may be less submissions. Maybe people have forgotten about this. Who knows? But because I was just checking, the submission date hasn't changed, and it's still the end of the month. So if you have time and can work on some of this, this is some awesome stuff. Right at the very bottom of this page, keep scrolling down, there's a SoundCloud thing here. I'm not going to play them just in case I get a copyright thing on my YouTube video here, and you can't see it, but you can hear some of them. I feel like with the creativity that we have in our class, we can make something as awesome as what's on here. The only thing that I have looked for and haven't seen is if all content on there, like it may not be a true radio contest. Here's NCRA right there, I noticed. Because for radio, you pay SOCAN fees, and so then you can play whatever music you like, and then SOCAN pays the artist. This, I'm not sure if it has to all be 100% your audio. And I did not see that anywhere, and a lot of the website is in French. I know there's translators, but I just haven't delved into it as much. So what I want to show you is I have another video for this software as well, but I'm just going to show you a quick little thing here. This is Mix. It looks super scary, but it's not super scary, especially if you use this auto DJ. Let me just make sure my audio is not too loud here. You cue this up and it's going to automatically, oops, I'm going to keep this guy going. It's setting it up for me. I disabled it for a moment there and now I'm back enabling it. It's going to automatically start playing this stuff. So it's playing this track right here. We might not be able to hear it in the background, but this one will go. Once this one is done, it's going to shift over. Let me fast forward. Maybe it's got a bit of an intro. Now we can hear it. It'll automatically, I'm going to jump to the end of this. See, it's going red because the track's almost done. It's got 6 seconds, it says right here, of overlap. So when this gets to 6, the crossfader is going to start going this way, and it's automatically starting to play this song, which is very cool. If you click this mic button, right there you can see it's picking up my microphone. If I hit this talk button, it will automatically, this ducking section right here, will automatically turn down the music and allow me to talk on the podcast. So this is another way that you could record an audio podcast with music and mix between two. And later on, when we get to creating a podcast for radio, this is an awesome option to do that. All these little, if you turn off samplers, that's gone. But if you turn that on, you can just throw, I think somewhere in here, I have something that says, here it is, Ma'am Sting. If I bring that right up here and I turn this down, the only unfortunate thing is this doesn't have the auto ducking. I'm going to put this down.
You're listening to 101 CKMS,
which is pretty cool, and then turn your music back up. So you can add your, I'm going to just pause that so I don't get too many copyrights on here. So you can add in there a sting, and a sting is just something that is, you may play all the time. I generally had more stings, but the radio station switched its frequency, so all the bands I interviewed would say, I can't even remember, 100.3 Sound FM. And now we're 102.7 CKMS or 102.7 Radio Waterloo. So I don't have that many anymore with a different thing.
You're listening to 101 CKMS.
And that's just Google reading right saying that. So anyways, this is a cool software. You can definitely do that with it. Up at the top, this satellite button, when during this COVID-19 time, when I click this, I take over the radio station and I can broadcast stuff from home. So you can live stream with this, as well as this cassette tape button beside it allows you to record your podcast. So if you go into your settings here, into your preferences, over here where it says recording, there's the tape. You can pick what directory you want to tape it into. I have on my computer podcast directory here, so maybe I would select that folder and it would put it. I would not save it as a WAV. WAVs are big files. I would save it as an MP3, much better. And I don't really want it to split recordings. So maybe I would say, usually my podcasts are 2 hours long because the Mono a Mono show is from 8 till 10. So I might say it'll split the recording at 120 minutes. And I'll say okay to all that. And now if I hit that record button, it's going to record that podcast into that folder I told it to and not split it for 120 minutes, which is 60 and 60 is 120, so that's perfectly 2 hours right there. So mix is another thing. Now, another one that we said that you could use is Audacity. I installed this and started recording right away. Sometimes you want to look at what's coming in. So I have my microphone is through this black magic thing that I've got going. But you can test. If you hit record, you can kind of see your levels here. This is your microphone levels. If your microphone levels are way too hot and it's always red and it's scraping the top here, that's going to add distortion. So what you need to do is you need to pull down your microphone levels. Even if you have it a little bit too low, like maybe that's too low and you want it a little bit higher, something like that. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you a way in the next video how, even if I mess up and I want to say, this is the best band ever, and I have a band right beside me, and I say, this is the best band never, and I think, no, let me redo that. This is the best band ever, and I want to cut out that first bit. After you're done bringing it into Audacity like that, things like that, you listen to it and you may say, oh, that's the part where I said this is the best band ever. You highlight it, you click delete, that part's gone. It's never existed. So you don't have to worry about a little screw up because you can go through and edit things later. You can do stuff like you can bring in multiple tracks and record it dry, which means without background music, and add background music. That usually hides, if you make a cut like that and the room sounds a little bit different, you can hide it by adding background music in there. So a whole bunch of things. I know I said I wasn't going to jump into editing, but there are a whole bunch of different ways that you can record audio from a microphone. I just have a regular old, this is actually not a regular old, this is actually a newer, pretty good microphone. But you can use any old microphone. I don't have any others just sitting around. Any old microphone, hook it up to a mixer that I have into my computer, or just use your video camera microphone. That should record audio too. A whole ton of ways. These are some ideas to help you, edit your stuff there, so that hopefully you can put together some type of radio podcast if you want to submit to that 60 seconds of radio. 60 seconds seems pretty manageable, so you can probably play around with it and hopefully put something together for that amount of time. Anyways, good luck. As always, if you have questions, comment on our Google Classroom, and I will definitely be able to create another video if it's about a specific thing, or I could maybe even just type back and you'll understand what's happening and be able to fix up your radio podcast. So hopefully that helps, and hopefully somebody in the class is able to win one of those awards. That'd be very cool. All right. Catch you later.